Yes, say what you say. I can ground pound all day, especially with a pretty face, small waist. I'd rather stand here, share your space with you. Collar tie, Muay Thai, I wanna lie with you. I wouldn't lie to you. I'm the truth. Get my full mount, side mount, what do? I wanna take you, controlled by the wrist. We can go rounds 3, 4, 5, 6 in the clinch. Yeah, we in the clinch, baby. Best believe me, we in the clinch. You and I, we in the clinch, baby. Say what you say. Oops, up off that, Mr. Grinch. Up off. Y'all know what day it is. Hit the Tyson bell. Y'all know what day it is. It's Facts Friday. Boy. What's up, my people? This is ShowBizz, the adult. All right, man. Look at who we have here. Who do we have in here? Sully, what's going on with you? 8. What's going on with you? Oops. All right, man. Lord. First, I want to say this. Hit the Tyson bell. If you did have Thanksgiving, you of the States or whatever, happy Thanksgiving. I hope you guys had a great yesterday. For everybody else, happy day. I hope you have a great today. Hit the Tyson bell. Look. It is time. It is time to get to the bottom of this and only speak the damn facts. And that's the Grinch. Because listen, like I said before, this is Facts Friday. We're only trying to get to the truth. And why does it mean so much to me right now to get to the truth? Because Teofimo Lopez versus George Cambosos, will that be for Undisputed? Number one. Number two, if Teofimo Lopez has done something as great as becoming the youngest undisputed champion of all time, that should be highlighted. And if he moves up to be the first two-time or attempt to be the first two-time undisputed champion in the four-belt era, that should be highlighted. Hit the Tyson bell. So it means so much to the boxing community. And that's the Grinch, two sugars. Leftovers. Yeah, so let's talk. Undisputed isn't undisputed. Everybody, make sure you hit the like button if you can.
Hit the like. Your fingers over here be like, there's nothing to hit the like. You know what you like.
Now look. If you have a weak stomach, I got something for you guys. For this Facts Friday, if you have a weak stomach,
get your shit and get out.
Hit the Tyson bell. That's right. It is disputed. But are you going to sit here and be like, it's disputed? Or are we going to get to the bottom of it? You can pout. Like I said, if you got a weak stomach, let me
get your shit and get out.
Now look, if we can all come to some kind of agreement in this community, then we can push for Undisputed, for Teofimo Lopez to be recognized. But if we cannot come to an agreement, a massive agreement, I already did a poll, and most of you said, yes, let's push for him to be Undisputed. But there's enough of you for this conversation to go a little bit further. So if we're not in all agreement, it would not be fair for the ShowBizz, the adult community, to push for it. So we're giving this a shot. Hit the Tyson bell. Now look, let's talk. My first question to you. Did Floyd Mayweather, and I'm talking about the Devin Haney fans, okay? Everybody. Now listen, first and foremost, all of you who think that Teofimo Lopez isn't undisputed, it's because of Devin Haney. Hit the Tyson bell. It's because you think Loma ducked Devin Haney. So let's go right now. How many of you believe that Loma ducked Devin Haney and he vacated the title, making him no longer WBC champion? Hit the Tyson bell. How many of you believe that that's why Teofimo Lopez isn't undisputed? Because Lomachenko ducked Devin the Dream Haney. Huh? Me. He did. Let's go. Respect. Much love to you. Much love. Me. Yes. Okay. My man, Space. Who else? Loma did duck Haney. Space. I need you, Space. I need you in this space right now. Yes, he ducked. Okay, Space. So the real champion is Devin Haney. Yes or no? I'm talking about the Devin Haney fans right now. Eric Johnson. Yes, yes. Okay, so the real champion at lightweight is Devin the Dream Haney. Yes? Yes? Yes. Yes. Okay. Which means that Floyd Money Mayweather ducked Keith one-time Thurman, and Keith one-time Thurman was the real WBA champion, no? Space. That means that Floyd Mayweather wasn't a WBA champion when he retired, right? When he fought Berto, he wasn't a WBA champion. Yes? Space, right? He ducked Keith Thurman, and he was not the WBA champion Keith Thurman was. Yes or no? Shit, facts. Huh? Got him. I just want to know. Yes or no? Where are you, Space? He was not the WBA champion, right? Right? Thurman, hold on. Just sitting here waiting on Jay Coolio to respond with some popcorn. I got you. Hit the Tyson Bell. Yes. There you go, Space. That means that Floyd Mayweather was not the champion. Here, check this out. Money May all day. TBE, no. Yes, he ducked and he was not the champion. Right? Right? No cap. I'm lost. You lost. Let me tell you why you lost. Because Floyd Mayweather was elevated to he was WBA champion. He was elevated to super WBA champion, so he doesn't have to fight Keith Thurman. No war room without me. There he is. There he is. There he is. Huh? Floyd Mayweather was elevated from WBA to super WBA champion and did not have to fight Keith one-time Thurman. Meaning that Keith one-time Thurman is the real champion and Floyd Mayweather wasn't. Right? Floyd was super duper best in the world when I don't know what you're talking about. We're talking about this. Get out of here with that. Belts mean nothing in today's world. I'm correct. Here, let me let you guys hear what I'm talking about right now. This is Keith one-time Thurman like 4 years ago.
Position to get the fight, and then they politically took the position away from me by elevating him up to the super champion, which made it so that he was no longer obligated to any mandatories. Once when I studied the industry and understood politically what this belt and what that belt means, to me the real purpose of having the super champ is to do things like this and have a unification bout. So by the WBA creating that super title, that allowed Floyd to really only focus on one mandatory, which was the WBC, if he wants to take it or not, and it gave him way more room to move his career the way that he wanted to move it.
Good night. Ah! When Floyd Mayweather was elevated to WBA champ, to super WBA champion, he did not have to face his mandatory and Keith one-time Thurman, allowing him to fight Berto. Hold on, let me see what you got to say. I do not believe that Loma ducked Haney because he went for unification. Boop. Floyd was the champion, but he did duck Thurman for Berto. Boop. Now, this is what you're saying, but we'll get there in a minute. We'll get there in a minute. Facts. Huh? We'll get there in a minute. Hold on. Exactly. What? Hold on. I'm asking. Facts, no printer. Huh? So what does that mean? What does that mean? Boxing politics. Black Sun, you hear me? So what does that mean? That means that we should no longer, if we're not going to accept Teofimo Lopez as undisputed because of the franchise champion, we should not accept any super WBA champions. Yes or no? Hit the Tyson Bell. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? that means the real champion is Gervonta Tank Davis in every division. Yes or no? The difference is Floyd was 40 years old, had already proven himself. Lomachenko was in his prime and chose to get the franchise belt. WBA forced Floyd to become, oh, now you're being biased. So now you're being age biased. He's 40 years old, so he did not duck Keith Thurman, which he wasn't, all right? You gave him too many years there. But then on top of that, you're saying that the WBA forced him. But for Lomachenko, he asked for it. Okay, now let me grab your biased ass, all right? And let me ask you this. Did Lomachenko request?
Ну, как я вот читал недавно интервью, Сулейман давал, что мы подали прошение на то, чтобы нам присвоили этого франчайзингового чемпиона. Я хотел бы внести ясность, никуда я ничего не подавал, никто ни о чем не просил. Я не просил об этом, чтобы мне давали этот титул.
If you can read, you saw that Lomachenko said he did not request that. Let's see what the WBC said. Did the WBC, did he request it or not? Let me ask the WBC.
It came out in a recent interview to where I guess Lomachenko said that he didn't ask for the WBC franchise belt.
No, there's no lie or truth. It's a fact. His promotion company, Top Rank, contacted the WBC and requested the WBC board to consider designating him champion.
Now listen with your ears, Space, because you're having a hard time doing that. The WBC, Mauricio Suleiman, said that Top Rank requested it, not Lomachenko. So get your facts right. Hit the Tyson Bell. Get your facts right. It's the promotion company, not Lomachenko. Okay, so while you're taking sides saying that the WBA forced Floyd Mayweather to do that, that makes zero sense. But they forced him to do that. But then to say Lomachenko requested it, you're not even listening. The WBC just said that Top Rank requested it, not Lomachenko. Hit the Tyson Bell. Know the facts. Don't just be biased. Know the facts. Fanboying makes you look bad. Just know the facts. Know the facts, okay? That's all I'm asking you guys. Know the facts. So here's the thing. While you're taking up for Floyd, don't. If Lomachenko ducked Haney because Lomachenko accepted a franchise title, not allowing for mandatories so he could fight for the unification, that's exactly what Floyd did. Be accepting the Super WBA championship, the title, and not having this mandatory, and they upgraded Keith one-time Thurman to the WBA champion. So if you guys are going to say Devin Haney's the real champion and Lomachenko wasn't, then that means that Keith one-time Thurman was the real champion and Floyd Mayweather wasn't. Yes or no? Yes or no? I don't understand. I need to understand how they can be different. How is it different? My man said because he's 40. That was the dumbest thing. My man said because he's 40. Everybody, hold on. Let's give it. That comment was dumb. Hit to Tyson Bell. It's the same damn thing. It's the same damn thing. No, your brain hurts. But okay, well then let's do this. Why did the WBC create the franchise title? Let's do that. Why did they even make the franchise title?
So if Loma were to fight the winner of Teofimo Lopez and Richard Comey, that's not for the Undisputed. That's not for Undisputed then, correct?
It is. He is the WBC champion.
It is. He is the WBC champion.
There have been, in the history of the sport, very few undisputed champions. And why? Because the mandatories get in the way and they get stripped. So this is a solution. We are the ones who invented the mandatory designation, the mandatory challenger. The WBC invented that. We are the ones who invented the mandatory designation, the mandatory challenger. The WBC invented that.
Why did the WBC create the franchise title if you guys didn't hear that or had the patience to listen to it? Because I know you can lose patience. All right. Like, ugh. Let me explain to you why. So champions can fight champions and not have the mandatory obligation. Hit the Tyson Bell. The WBC created a franchise champion, created that designation so champions can fight champions for unification and for undisputed. That's why he started off saying that he will be undisputed if Teofimo Lopez beat Lomachenko. He said that back then. They created a franchise champion so the champions can fight champions and not have to worry about fighting mandatories. Hit the Tyson Bell. Do y'all like that? Yes or no? Do y'all like that? Yes or no? Because that's the answer. Hold on. Super champ and franchise champ needs to go only a way of sanctioning bodies to get paid and a way for promoters, not fighters, to duck. It's all about money. We're getting there. We're getting there. You're sounding good. You're sounding good. Facts. Yes. Hold on. Let me see what I have to say. Then how come no other commission bodies agrees with Tio as be undisputed? Don't ask me. That's what our job is now, to look at the differences and finding that if you accept the Super WBA title, it's time to accept the franchise title. That's what our job is right now. Because to rob that kid, Teofimo Lopez, from being undisputed is no fair if you accept the Super WBA title. I'm for the fighters. I'm not for the politics. I ain't for the damn money. I am for the fighters. And if that kid deserves to be called undisputed because you accept the WBA, but you don't accept the franchise title, that's a damn shame. We ain't going to pick to be for politics when it fits our fanboying needs. If y'all for the little guy for real, then be for the fighter. I'm proving to you guys that Top Rank requested it, not Lomachenko. Stop shitting on the fighters. That the sanctioning bodies are playing their politics, but the fighters are doing their damn jobs. And if we're going to keep siding on the side of the politics so it can fit our fanboying needs, we need to stop that. That's the Facts Friday. Hit the Tyson Bell. Teofimo Lopez deserved to be undisputed. Who got shitted on was Teofimo. Y'all are for the politics all of a sudden. Not recognizing what you guys are hearing from me. I heard somebody say ShowBizz to go along, get along gang. Getting that from my man. That's y'all who's going along and getting along. I'm for the inmates. Y'all for the jailhouse. Creation of the franchise belt came about when Jamal Charlo was #1 challenger to Canelo WBC belt. He was not the mandatory, but he was #1, Eric Johnson, and it was created just like you put in all caps. I don't think you heard what I said. We said the same damn thing. It's so they can fight for unifications and not mandatory. Hey, let me break it down for you. Let me break down the similarities. Let me break down the similarities between the WBA and the WBC when it comes to Super WBA champion and the franchise champion. They're the same damn thing. This is all you guys need to hear.
There have been, in the history of the sport, very few undisputed champions. And why? Because the mandatories get in the way and they get stripped. So this is a solution.
To me, the real purpose of having the super champ is to do things like this and have a unification bout.
The WBA has their super champion and
I don't like
a regular champion.
If you want to
franchise
like this, okay, but if you want to
franchise
like this, okay.
If you wanna franchise like this, okay, but
If you want to
franchise
like this, okay.
The Super WBA and the franchise title, same damn thing. All I'm asking is this: be consistent. If Lomachenko is not a champion, was not a champion because he was elevated to franchise champion, then neither was Floyd. And if the franchise champion, if the franchise title, the franchise designation or the franchise champion, if that holds no merit, then the Super WBA champion shouldn't either. And the only reason why you would try to find a difference is to try to push your narrative or agenda. And the only agenda and narrative that we should be pushing is for boxing to be the #1 sport in the world. And the best way to do that is clean up confusion and to have no bias and to go and to call everything fair and straight down the middle. If T.O. beats Haney, will the WBC belt be vacant? Yep. Let me see. That's the rules of the franchise. Yep. Flex on them. Flex on them. See. Pow. How many boogeyman do you fight before you're disqualified from being called a duck? Never. You will always be called a duck as long as you're on top. That's the whole point of it. So listen to me. The franchise title and the Super WBA title, it's the same damn thing. It's the same damn thing. The only difference is little things. But they both were created to have champions fight champions for unifications and not for mandatories. Wait a minute. How was that a lie? They're both created to have unifications and not to fight mandatories. Let me give it to you.
There have been, in the history of the sport, very few undisputed champions. And why? Because the mandatories get in the way and they get stripped. So this is a solution.
To me, the real purpose of having the super champ is to do things like this and have a unification bout.
The WBA has their super champion and a regular champion.
If you want to
franchise
like this, okay, but if you want to
franchise
like this, okay.
If you want to franchise like this, okay, but
If you want to
franchise
like this, okay.
This is simple, but the sanctioning bodies make it rocket science. Perfect. Suleiman looks confused at times explaining it. Yep. The adult is in the house, educating and empowering. Well said, Biz. 100% hit the Tyson bell. If you guys are willing to accept the Super WBA, you should be willing to accept the franchise title. Now, I want to tell you this too. I want to break this down for you real quick. Do you think it's a bad idea? Do you think, how about this? What's better? Fighting for unification or fighting your mandatory? What's better? What's greater? Fighting for unification, fighting another champion, or fighting for mandatory, or fighting your mandatory? What's greater? Fighting your unification fight or mandatory? Unification or mandatory? Let me know. That's not right. Super WBA is in every weight class and franchise in certain weights for certain people. But still the same concept. It doesn't matter if they have 1 million Super WBA titles. It really doesn't matter. So how many they have is the point for you? Look, don't forget, Floyd, there was no super at 147. Floyd was elevated to super. Lennox Lewis is the first super WBA champion. It's all a new concept. You're trying to make one better than the other by, this been around a little bit longer since the 90s or the 2000s. Stop it. It's the same concept. Don't get so manipulated easily. It's the same concept. Think outside the box, sit back for a minute and look at it. Oh, this is the same damn thing. Telling you. Unification. Mandatory is only business. Let me see if anyone says mandatory. Danny thinks mandatory. Unification. Danny thinks. So Danny, fighting Yildirim, Canelo fighting Yildirim is better than fighting for Undisputed. I only want to hear Danny right now. Let's see if we can convince Danny. Canelo fighting Yildirim from the future, TO by devastating knockout. Yeah, that's a good few. That's the right universe. My man. So Space. Okay, Space. So Canelo fighting Yildirim is better than fighting for Undisputed. Is that what y'all saying? Fighting your mandatory. The only reason why people saying mandatory is because they know that I got them. So they're trying to, Devin Haney, I'm just trying to fight for Devin Haney. They're Devin Haney. They're not even themselves anymore. They're Devin Haney. So I just want to hear what they have to say. Fighting Yildirim is better than fighting Undisputed. Good job, brother. I just want to know. Fighting Yildirim is better than fighting for Undisputed. Where you at, Danny? Holler at me. Holler at me. It not nah. See, depend on the mandatory. That's you being a fanboy. Oh, I want to see this fight, so mandatory more important now. That's when everything comes up to your personal feelings. I'm trying to have a logical discussion, have everything consistent. That way, when you have a law, when you have something in place, you only wavering away from that because you're fanboying. Is mandatory or unification, which one is greater? Belt or no belt, we know the ones who need to get out of here. Is mandatory or which one's greater? Get rid of all the belts. Let them be. Brother, that's not going to happen. There's too much money to be made. Flex on them. See. Pow. Nobody want to answer questions anymore. Be men. Most people don't know shit about boxing. A wise man said that. We love you, boy. Be men. How is Caleb Plant versus Canelo a better fight than me? You ain't being a man, Space. You're disappointing me. Mandatory or undisputed? Mandatory or unifying? Fighting another champion or your mandatory? Which one is greater? Come on, man. Don't have me out, man. You like that? You picking and choosing. You ain't answering no questions. You're not answering no. Brother, I told you, do not watch this video. My man Space, bro. I'm gonna tell you, bro. I'm sorry. I love you.
Get your shit and get out.
Once people start saying, they just got an agenda. We're trying to get to the bottom of this so we can do something for the sport. Not tiptoe around and try to hold on to your favorites. We're men. We're women. We are our own. You're an individual. You're not Devin Haney. You're not Floyd Mayweather. Think about you from your brain. Regardless of politics, people ignore the fact that T.O. still beat the man with the belts. He deserves the credit. We're getting there. Thank you, John. That's where I'm getting to. It is black. What is more important? Unification or mandatory? Stop it. I admit unification is great. Thank you. Okay. So here's the thing. Hit the Tyson bell. Here's the thing. Until an undisputed is crowned, there should be no mandatory. Do y'all agree? The mandatory has been an issue. What the WBA and the WBC is trying to do with franchise and a super title is have the champs fight the champs and not have mandatories get in the way of fights happening, of having one champion. We all want one champion, but we keep talking about mandatory. This is the point of this. This is the Facts Friday. Y'all all want one champ, but keep going for mandatories, boy, because you ain't going for the one champ idea. You're going for your favorite fighter. Now you're fanboying. I'm going for Devin Haney. I'm going for Charlo. Or I hate Canelo. I hate Lomachenko. I hate Teofimo. Something like that. But you're not going for one champion. If you're going for one champion, you'll probably be sick of mandatories. Biz, I think Breland spiked the water. They ain't thinking straight. No. Gary Russell Jr. only fight his mandatories. He'll never get the fights he wants. He's blackballed. He even said, stay on point. Let me see. They can't handle the truth. No, Brown. because we're getting to a point. Depends on if you process or results oriented. The right process is to respect your mandatories. The right result is usually a unification, though. No, because if you got 3 belts and the WBO got a mandatory, now you got to fight the IBF mandatory. Now you hold the WBC strap. Now you got to fight. We don't get one champion. The point of the Super WBA and a franchise to elevate them there is so they can be at a place. Those fighters that they choose to be elevated there, they can be at a place where they don't have to fight mandatories and they're just fighting for the belts to have one great champion. That was the point. That was the point of it. You exposed the trolls. Yeah. That was the point of it. So I'm going to tell you this. Since we know that unification is greater than mandatory, how is it that Loma being elevated to franchise champion and unifying, fighting Teofimo Lopez, who beat Nakatani, who beat Richard Comey for the IBF title? How is that not more important than fighting Devin Haney, who fought who and who was his mandatory? How is not fighting the unification fight, which he lost, not more important? A guy who was an IBF champion, who has a better resume than this other guy, than Devin Haney. How fighting him is not more important than Devin Haney? Explain that to me. Other than I love Devin Haney. I love him too. But I don't want, if that's your reason, oh, it's because I'm into Devin Haney as a fighter. That's not a good enough reason for me. Now that we lined up that unification is greater than mandatory, how is that the case? Biz, you're wasting your time with man who have man crutches. Yeah. If you are a boxing fan, then it should not be that hard it's not hard to understand that Undisputed is what you want and not a mandatory. Yep. It's the man crushes that is not is trying to create a mental block, but they know I'm right. That's why I said in this Facts Friday, this video, everybody who's even coming in late, y'all know I'm right. Y'all know the war room is right. Y'all know we're right. Y'all know. It's man, key. I just like Devin Haney. I like Charlo, bro. And I feel you on that because I like them too. Knowledge is power. Hit the Tyson bell. What else we got? ShowBizz, preach, bro. Champions fighting champions is old school. We should go back there. That's what they're trying to do. That's what for the community. That's what they're trying. The Super WBA championship and the franchise champion is the same damn thing. If AJ was elevated, the fights may have happened. Here's the thing. Right. Here's the thing about that. AJ being elevated. They don't allow heavyweights to be franchise champion. That's the difference between the Super WBA and the franchise champion, because the franchise champion is for people who moves up and down weight classes. Why? Because they want, as soon as you get the belt, if you're a franchise champion, you can move up and fight the champion. They wanted champions versus champions as soon as possible without mandatories. Here, let Mauricio Suleiman explain it to
Well, either way, based on what you said, would it make sense for a heavyweight to even request to be a franchise champion?
One of the main elements of the franchise is the possibility
to move in weight.
To move
correct
up and down. So the ability to move up and down.
That's why you're not going to find a heavyweight franchise champion. Now listen. We all know you can win the franchise title. They've changed it. You can win the franchise title. You can win the franchise title. Hold on. If that's the case, why WBC didn't force Nello and Boo Boo? I have no idea what you just said. Wait. I have no idea what you just said. Canelo moved up to light heavyweight and fought for the unification in light heavyweight. As long as he was fighting for unification, it was all good. Hit the Tyson bell. I have no idea what you just said. Let me see. I just don't understand the debate. If Devin Haney is WBC champion, which he is, there's only one solution: fight. It's no bias, no fanboy, just logic. Listen, Devin Haney is the WBC champion the way Tank Davis is the WBA champion. He's not the super champion. Look, Tank Davis is the champion at 140. But Josh Taylor is undisputed. How is that? I don't understand. We understand that. Y'all know y'all understand that. Josh Taylor is undisputed at 140, but Tank Davis is still a WBA champion. It's the same damn thing. It's the same. Oh, let me see. I agree with your assessment, but how does any up-and-coming fighter get opportunities to become? Bam! And that's why the WBC made mandatories to begin with. But let me tell you how every sanctioning body, they made too many damn belts. And making too many belts, the mandatory became a nuisance. And making so many belts, the mandatory became a nuisance. Now we need super WBA franchise champions. With so many belts, the mandatory became a nuisance. There was a 9-month window while Haney was mandatory and Comey and Lopez didn't even fight yet. Loma said he was going to fight mandatory until Haney became mandatory. Okay, so listen. If you think Lomachenko ducked Haney, fine. That means that you think Floyd ducked Keith one time. Doyman. You want to hear it again? You want to hear it again? Hold on. Let me find it for you. Where is it? WBA, top rank, WBC. Hold on. There it is.
Didn't get the fight, and then they politically took the position away from me by elevating him up to the super champion, which made it so that he was no longer obligated to any mandatories. Once when I studied the industry and understood politically what this belt and what that belt means, to me the real purpose of having the super champ is to do things like this and have a unification bout. So by the WBA creating that super title, that allowed Floyd to really only focus on one mandatory, which was the WBC, if he wants to take it or not, and it gave him way more room to move his career the way that he wanted to move it.
So listen, if Loma ducked Haney, Floyd ducked Thurman. But here's the thing, it didn't stop Floyd from being the champion. If you think he ducked or not, he was still the champion. If you think Loma ducked or not, he was still the champion. You can say you don't like Loma. You can say he ducked Haney. Regardless, he was still the champion, and Teofimo Lopez is undisputed. You cannot like that Floyd ducked Thurman. I don't like that either. You cannot like that Loma ducked Haney if you think that's the case. But either way, Floyd, WBA champion, super champion. He was elevated, and he vacated the regular WBA and gave it to Thurman's ass. Lomachenko elevated to franchise champion. He vacated the regular WBC champ to Devin Haney's ass. How do y'all not see the pattern? If y'all don't see the pattern, you're tripping. And that's not the facts. And if you think they ducked, you can think they ducked all you want. Floyd was still champion. Loma still champion. Teofimo Lopez beat Loma's ass. Now he's undisputed. Simple. That guy asks, why didn't Canelo fight Andre for undisputed at 160 after Triple G? I want to know your opinion on that, Biz. Why didn't he fight Boo Boo Andre for once at 160? It could have been a few things. It could have been the negotiations fell through, which we know the negotiations fell through because it was like a DAZN thing. But also, Canelo could have not wanted him. Canelo could have not wanted to fight Boo Boo. Either he thinks Boo Boo's too difficult, or he thinks Boo Boo going to be too boring, or he thinks he's too boring and too difficult. Either way, he didn't fight him. He didn't want to. How about that? I don't know what that has to do with Teofimo Lopez being undisputed. Is this, let's find sometimes to shit on Canelo? We could do that. Let's say the things that we wish Canelo would have done. But I don't know what that has to do with Teofimo Lopez being undisputed. But if you just want something, let's talk bad about Canelo. Okay, Canelo, I didn't like the rehydration clause for Kovalev or the fast turnaround. I don't like if Canelo goes up to fight Makabu, I wouldn't want that to be at a catch weight. They're talking about that may be at a catch weight. We could talk about things, but I don't know what that is. I just feel like hating right now. I'm a man. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in the logical facts. Let me see what else we got. Way too many belts. Question: do the sanctioning bodies collect sanctioning fees on all these belts? Yep, and that's where the money comes in. Give these men their flowers without breaking the vase. Hey Biz, I just realized your subs went up. Let's go, everybody! Hit the Tyson bell. Everybody, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe right now.
Subscribe.
And let me ask you this. Okay. Let me tell you this. All of you guys who has shown up to this, much love to you. Especially if you've shown up to debate, much love to you. Okay. That's what you do. Break bread, try to figure this out. Try to build here. Do you think Lopez ever rematches Lomachenko, or does he know that's a bad idea? He knows it's a bad idea. And with that being said, Teofimo Lopez is going to move up to fight Josh Taylor. And what I'm saying is this: if you like how they moved or not, Teofimo Lopez is the youngest undisputed champion ever. And if he beats Josh Taylor, he'll be a 2-time undisputed champion. Let me see. Could it be possible the reason for having so many belts allowing boxing to capitalize on TV venues and other profitable? Yeah, it has gotten to a point where you can't even say that a fight is a 12-round fight without it being for a belt. It has gotten to that point. So now belts are kind of made up so it can be a 12-round fight. Let me see. Sully, if Loma fought Devin instead of T.O., would we consider Loma ducking T.O.? Can you also play the Michael Jackson? Everybody, hit the mic. Hit the Michael Jackson. Let me get the Michael Jackson for you. Let me tell you something, Sully. You're absolutely right. It's about fanboying. So if Lomachenko would have fought Devin Haney, his mandatory, instead, fans of Teofimo Lopez would have called Lomachenko a duck. If he didn't unify and fought Devin Haney, if Lomachenko fought Nakatani, beat him, fought Richard Comey for IBF, beat him, and then Lomachenko didn't fight him, but fought Devin Haney and lost to Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez fans would have called Lomachenko a duck for not fighting him. Lomachenko was in the middle. So you got Devin Haney fans who saying that he ducked his mandatory to fight for unification. If he would have fought mandatory instead, Teofimo Lopez fans would have called Lomachenko a duck for fighting Devin Haney. What we're going to do right here is sit there and evaluate it. Is unification or fight for undisputed greater than mandatory? Yes, at that point, we should all be happy that he chose to fight for unification, for undisputed, if we all claim that we want one champion. Why do we want one champion but wanted him to fight his mandatory instead of undisputed? Nobody should think that way. You only think it that way through one or two reasons. One, you're a big fan, or three reasons. One, you're a big fan of Devin Haney. Two, you hate Lomachenko. Or three, there's a race issue. Simple. Understand now, Biz. I just ain't get in your short clip. Yeah, I know you got to show up. You got to watch the whole argument. The short clip, 15 seconds. I can't explain everything in 15 seconds. Davis is a multi-division interim champ fighting no one. Okay. I see what you're saying now. Great line. Thank you so much. Hit Tyson there. 100 exactly. 100%. Preach. Yep. Haney rather have likes than W's. So look, let me tell you. Let me tell you where I'm at. Okay. I think we have proven that the franchise title is pretty much the Super WBA title. Agreed? They both were created to avoid mandatories. Agreed? Let's agree there first. Agreed? Yes or no? Agreed? Yep. And since And since we accept the Super WBA, we must accept the franchise. My man said, no, it's not, but has no reason why. We must accept the franchise. Okay? Estrada has been elevated to franchise champion. Did y'all know that? Do y'all know that Roman Gonzalez versus Estrada is going to be for the franchise title? Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that? Hit the Tyson bell. Dude, I don't want to accept it. I know. My man said, look at Black Lives Matter boxing. I bet you the WBC will scrap the franchise belt once Canelo retires. Canelo partnering with the WBC is destroying boxing. I just said Estrada was elevated to WBC franchise. It's not just a Canelo belt. So just to prove you wrong there, Teofimo Lopez got the franchise title. It's not just a Canelo belt. You feel what I'm saying? Hit the Tyson bell. So if we accept the Super WBA title, we must accept the franchise title, the WBC franchise title. And with that said, Teofimo Lopez is undisputed. And with that said, no need to dispute it. Give him his damn roses. Because you have a huge accomplishment here being robbed from the fighter. And we supposed to be for the fighter. Case closed. Case closed. The WBC says it's not Biz. Says it's not what? You're coming in here late and I've given all of the videos. WBC said it's not what? TO is undisputed. Facts Friday. The prosecution. Everybody. The WBA is the WBC. The WBA super title is just like the franchise title because they created it for the same reason. Let's hear this one more.
There have been in the history of the sport very few undisputed champions. And why? Because the mandatories get in the way and they get stripped. So this is a solution.
To me, the real purpose of having the super champ is to do things like this and have a unification bout.
The WBA has their super champion and a regular champion.
If you want to
franchise
like this, okay, but if you want to
franchise
like this, okay.
If you wanna franchise like this, okay, but
If you want to
franchise
like this, okay.
Now, here's the thing. Do you think a fighter should fight for the title or be handed the title? Do you think a fighter should fight for a title or be handed the title? Let me ask you. Everybody in the war room, everybody. Suleiman said Nello and Loma requested the franchise. Nobody fighting requests the Super WBA belt to be made. Here we go right here. Okay. You don't listen, Charles Baker. He didn't. All right. Let's do it right here.
It came out in a recent interview to where I guess Lomachenko said that he didn't ask for the WBC franchise belt.
No, there's no lie or truth. It's a fact. His promotion company, Top Rank, contacted the WBC and requested the WBC board to consider designating him champion.
Top Rank requested it, not Lomachenko. Here's
Ну, как я вот читал недавно интервью, Сулейман давал, что мы подали прошение на то, чтобы нам присвоили этого франчайзингового чемпиона. Я хотел бы внести ясность, никуда я ничего не подавал, никто ни о чем не просил, я не просил об этом, чтобы мне давали этот титул.
That's why I tell you guys, do your own research. Do your own research. Don't even just listen to me, but if you listen to a filter, any filter, a YouTube filter, me, you're not going to get all the information that you would get if you do your own damn research. So Charles Baker, that proves that you don't do your research. Go do your research yourself. Don't listen to me. But I just gave you the videos right here. Listen to them. They'll tell you. Top Rank requested it, not Lomachenko. Get your facts straight. Let me see. I feel Teofimo should be undisputed. Titles are won and obstacles in the ring at best. Haney should have been mandatory all across the board. So here's the thing. I agree with you. Y'all said that they should fight for it and not be handed the title. So who do y'all respect more as a champion, Teofimo Lopez or Devin Haney? LOL. And where's the video when you said Nello asked too, where he said Nello asked? We're talking about Lomachenko. So now I got to search for you. Why don't you grab your lazy ass and get on a YouTube or Google and search your damn self? Searching your damn. Don't keep, let me challenge ShowBizz to get all and collect all the information for me while I just sit on my dick. Go do it your damn self. I just researched myself. Lopez, thank you. So if you believe that a fighter should fight for the title, not be handed the title, then you respect Teofimo Lopez as a champion more than Devin Haney, no? No? Hit the Tyson bell. Yeah. Yeah. So this is what we came to. This is the conclusion we came to. Okay. And it took a lot. And I respect you guys for sitting here and challenging and sitting here and getting the information, thinking like individuals and being like, okay, now what does that mean right now? Let me tell you what that means right now. Damn, Biz, who made you mad? No, nobody. Let me tell you what this means right now. Let me tell you what this means. It means that there is a fighter out there by the name of Teofimo Lopez who did everything he had to do to become undisputed. He fought Lomachenko, who beat the man, right? He fought Lomachenko, who had all the other belts. Teofimo Lopez wanted him for 3 years and then did what was necessary in order to fight for the IBF. Got the IBF. He fought Lomachenko. He collected all the straps. If you look at him for the Cambosos press conference, you see all those straps that he fought for. And you have people taking that away from him. Politics. They're siding on the side of politics to do it. And here in the community, we're for the fighters, not the politics. We're for the fighters. That kid deserved to be called the youngest undisputed champion ever in the 4-belt era. And that kid is talking about moving up to fight Josh Taylor. And if he beats him, he would be the first 2-time doing all the right things. And we're taking that from him. Why? If we are for the fighter, the integrity of the sport, the best fighting the best, not being handed anything, but fighting and becoming the champion. If we are for that, the integrity of the sport, fighting your way to the top, not being handed shit, not the politics, fighting your way to the top. We should move collectively as a community to make sure that those warriors get highlighted and not side on the side of politics to support your fanboying. It's no fair. And we should not participate in destroying the sport of boxing and preserve what makes boxing right. Fighting to be considered the best. Biz, money is really starting to taint the sport. That's the black 2 sugars. Thank you. Love your channel, Biz. You seem like a cool and genuine dude. Thanks so much. Shout out from Texas. Keep winning in life. 100%. 100%. Brown LLC. He fought 3 top contenders back to back to back, and Loma said he didn't want a rematch clause, and T.O. beat him. Now everybody want a rematch. Hypocrisy. Okay. But as of right now, Teofimo Lopez should be considered undisputed. Lopez is great, but he's not. But you're not saying why. I gave all these reasons why, but no one comes with an intelligent reason that goes against my reason. That goes against my reason. Huh? Much love to you, Biz. Nothing but facts. Everybody. Let's hit it with it. Let's hit him with it today. Let's hit him with it. Where we at? Here.
Yeah!
Look at these guys. Look at these guys. Look at these guys. That comment was dumb. Look at these guys. No, he's not. He's just not. No. I have receipts. Too much to type for debate purpose. But respect, bro. Much respect to you, Charles Baker. Much love. I love you, boy. Much love to you. Haney is a champ. He should be mandatory. But if franchise for unification, he don't have to fight Haney, which isn't fair on him. So, but fighting for unifications isn't fair for the champ if you don't fight for unification. Do we want Philly Fly? Do we want one champion or not? The whole point of this argument is, do we like unifications or mandatory? That's really it. Do you value Yildirim or Undisputed? It's on. Now, you are grabbing Devin Haney. I'm talking about the fact. The fact. Yildirim or Undisputed. Because that can help you. Because, okay, I'm a big Devin Haney fan. I'm talking about mandatory or unification. Which one's higher? If it's unification, Lomachenko getting his ass whipped by Teofimo Lopez was right on the money. People forget that Loma lost. They still think about what Devin Haney didn't get the chance to do. They forget that Teofimo Lopez whipped that ass. If you wanted Lomachenko's ass whipped, it's just you wanted the other guy to do it. Really, Teofimo Lopez did what he had to do more than Devin Haney. Philly Fly, let me ask you, who did more to deserve the Loma fight? Devin Haney or Teofimo Lopez? Let me ask all of you. You're damn right, Biz. Preach. Yeah, before I go, this could clear everything up. Before I go, who deserved the Lomachenko fight more, Haney or Teofimo? Biz, it's the WBC fault for all the confusion. They confused themselves. They said he's undisputed at first, then says he's not undisputed. Not the fighter's fault. Yeah, but he is undisputed. They just said he was undisputed. I'll show y'all the videos again, but that's going to ruin it for people who showed up and was here the whole time. WBC's Mauricio Suleiman has been saying undisputed as of late. That's what he's been saying, undisputed. So don't end with saying that he's not undisputed. End with he said he's undisputed. He said at the very beginning, and he just said it at the end. Let me see. WBC sadly took away Charlo and Haney's chances. But let me ask you, though, Eric Johnson. Let me ask you. T.O. earned it. Give him his respect. Yeah, absolutely. I don't need to ask the Teofimo Lopez fans or those who believe in me. Eric Johnson, let me ask you, who deserves it more, Haney or Teofimo? T.O. called himself unified at the presser. He called himself unified and undisputed. I heard it. He said unified and then looked at Eddie Hearn and said undisputed. Don't throw out bullshit and lies for a narrative. Go back to the presser yourself. He said that. I listened closely. He said unified champ, and then he looked at Eddie Hearn and said undisputed with attitude. Stop. Let me see. T.O. Yep. Lopez. T.O. Right. So if all of you believe that T.O. earned it more than that Devin Haney, what's the argument? I'm curious. What's the argument? ShowBizz. Suleiman said that the WBC agreed upon elevating Loma, and Loma signed it. That's right. Yeah. Floyd Mayweather signed to be Super WBA champion. Exactly. Meaning if he didn't want it, he shouldn't have signed it. He didn't say he didn't want it. He said he didn't request it. You got to think. Daniel, listen. He said he didn't request it. He didn't even know what the damn thing was. But when they told him what it was, when they presented, he signed it. Use your brain and your ears. I'm saying he didn't request it. He did sign it. Floyd Mayweather did request the Super WBA title, but he signed it. And here's the thing, Daniel Day. I don't give a damn if y'all think he ducked or not. The truth of the matter is he's the champion. Y'all get caught up in why and your feelings. I don't care whose reason, whatever. If Floyd Mayweather was the champion at Super WBA, Lomachenko was the champion at franchise. Exactly, Biz. Haney fans, yep, you got to quit. You got to quit right now. I'm asking you guys, if Teofimo Lopez deserved it more than Haney, what's the conversation about? What's the conversation about? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to be for the inmates, not the jailhouse. In this community, we're for the inmates, not the jailhouse. And what we're going to do here, okay, is I've got a few people that I can talk to, but I don't have the power to convince people. But maybe they do. What we're going to do is make a solid push for Teofimo Lopez to be called what he deserves to be called. And no diss towards Devin the Dream Haney. That's my guy. I love Devin the Dream Haney, but I want truth more than anything. If you deserve it, you should get it. If you fought for it, you worked for it, and you earned it, it should be yours. And if boxing's the best metaphor for life and something that I want to use as a tool to raise my children, because I love boxing so much, I want to tell my oldest son, if you want something, you fight for it. You earn it. That's who should be awarded. Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez should fight each other. I'm not saying they shouldn't. Teofimo Lopez, at the end of the day, deserves to be titled Undisputed Champion. He earned it. If Haney was in T.O.'s position, there would be no confusion and everything would be crystal clear. And Haney would be undisputed for all the non-T.O. support. If Haney was in T.O.'s position, I'll be called Devin Dream Haney, undisputed champion all day. It doesn't matter who the hell it is. That's why if George Cambosos whooped Teofimo's ass, he's undisputed. I'm a bigger fan of T.O. than Cambosos big time. If he beats him, he's undisputed. He did what he had to do. Let me see. What else we got? Okay, did I speak the facts Friday? We all good? ShowBizz the adult. I gotta run, take care of my family. This is after thing. Y'all know what day it is. This is Black Friday. We got to get popping. It's time to get your cocoa, marshmallows in the cocoa. Get your gloves and shit. Start drinking your cocoa. Start hitting the stores, bro. Hit the Tyson bell. It's time. If you guys believe in Christmas, I know I do. So I'm not talking to everybody, but those who do celebrate Christmas, y'all know what time it is. It's time to even stop watching me. Y'all probably watch me on the phone while y'all doing the damn thing. Let me see what you got. You earned the dollars, my man. Flex on them. See. Pow. Thank you so much. Hit the Tyson bell. You mother's making me swole out here. All right, man. Hold on. Before I leave. At the end of the day, it's going to always be a dispute until him and Haney fight. It's not Haney's fault or Teofimo Lopez just made the better move. But we're going to push for him being considered undisputed since he earned it. All right. And then people can say whatever they want to say, but stamp it in the record books. I don't know if I feel like Teofimo Lopez has to fight Haney in order to clear it up. I swear if Haney was T.O., I wouldn't call Haney undisputed. If I wouldn't if Haney was T.O., I wouldn't call Haney Undisputed. Okay, yeah, they should fight each other to clear it up or what have you. I definitely want to see them fight each other. Teofimo Lopez is undisputed because he earned it. Let me see. How about this, ShowBizz? Loma should have fought Devin, and if he won, he immediately fights T.O. just like Canelo. That would have been cool, but we got Undisputed now. So Canelo fighting Yildirim pissed everybody off, Daniel Day. Everybody crying about it. They're still crying about it now. How about Yildirim? How about Yildirim? Okay, so why even? Who cares? They fought for Undisputed instead of him fighting Devin Haney. He fought Teofimo Lopez for Undisputed now. Fine. What's the problem? And then Teofimo Lopez whooped that ass. And that's the chance you take. He fought Teofimo for Undisputed instead of fighting Devin Haney first. Undisputed trumps mandatories. He didn't fight his mandatory. He fought for Undisputed. Teofimo Lopez whooped that ass. That's what happens when you're a fighter. You choose who you want to fight. Do I want to fight my mandatory or fight for Undisputed? I'll fight for Undisputed right now. Ass whip. Game. Why are y'all tripping? What's the problem? I'm out. Huh. Telling you, man. Y'all, it's really basic. It is very basic, dog.